The views and opinions on the Craig L. Hayes Show do not necessarily reflect those of Westgate Resorts ownership or management. And now, on with the show.
Welcome back to It's Showtime, the Craig L. Hayes Show. Welcome back, everybody. We are here with Mike Palmer, and we're doing some more conversations about showbiz, our lives behind the scenes, and everything that we've done in our lives. And he like me, was basically born into the business. Been in the business his entire life, or been around the business. His dad was in. Some of us, we didn't know there's other people. Growing up, I never knew people had other jobs and their parents being in show business and stuff.
Yeah, my dad working until 3 o'clock in the morning was normal.
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah, that's not a big deal.
Yeah. Mom saying, "Oh, Dad's sleeping. You got to be quiet until noon. Shh. Go outside and play." That's just the way it was.
Yep, and don't play in front of the window or you wake him up.
Exactly.
So, no, we've been there. That's the life we lived. It's like, yeah, I've been there, done that. Yep. So anyways, where were we? We basically you got into show business, and your first real job. I mean, you had to bounce around like everybody else. You had to put your dues in, obviously.
Yes.
And you can't just walk right into a full-time gig because that's not going to happen. But so where did you put your dues in? What were you doing and where, and how'd you earn your stripes, per se?
Well, like I said, my first gig was at the MGM on a concert over there, back when it was still the MGM, before it was Bally's. 93, I think it was. After that, I took my electrics class and stagecraft. That's what it was back then. It was everything. You did your stagecraft class, which got you your assistant carp, assistant electric, and your assistant sound.
Yep.
So after I took that class, did a little bouncing here and there. Wasn't really able to make a living at it, so I still had to do some mechanic stuff. And then about 95. The lasers in front of here, the laser fountain opened up. Or 94, the laser fountain opened up. They started running the show every night, and then the FAA got involved, and they had to shut them down whenever planes would fly over. So because of that, they had to bring more people in. The union couldn't really get or supply laser operators. So my dad was doing the lasers out front. He says, "Hey, I got someone who we might be able to get in here." And they kind of got me in a couple of days a week, working here and there at nights. And then when the laser shut down, the guys down in the convention area grabbed me.
Okay. Back when it was Hilton Productions.
Yeah, Las Vegas Hilton Productions. Alton Erbauer found out that I was struggling and trying to make a living at it, and he got a hold of my dad, and he says, "Get his ass down here." So he and Richard Kelly started me down there cleaning steel with those rubber gloves on with the MEK, wiping all the steel down so he could start building set pieces. And then Alton took me under his wing and started showing me graphic design, graphic painting, graphic artist type stuff. Well, after about a day, 2 days of that, he comes over to me and he puts his arm around me and he goes, "Mikey, we're going to see how good of an electrician you are, because this isn't working out." Walked me in there and introduced me to Angelo Rodriguez. And from then on, I was an electrician.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah. So, the Hilton, Las Vegas Hilton Productions in the convention area is where basically I learned the business. Being around it with my dad, I picked up a little bit here and there, but, when you're a punk kid, you're not going to listen to your dad, Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. So it was John Stevens and...
AD was down there at that time, wasn't he?
AD was down there. You had
Frank Cott.
You had John Stevens, Peter Mims.
That's Mims,
Yeah.
yep. I was trying to remember their names.
Peter and John Mims,
Yeah.
John Stevens, Richard Kelly, AD, Tim Allen, Bunky. Who was Bunky? Kenny Workstrom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to think who else.
They're all good guys. They all know the business.
yeah.
Those are all top end guys as far as builders and fabricators, and they know that's a group that could do anything. Lighting, sound, you call it, it could get done. So,
Yeah. And by the time they had me down there, those guys were all looking to retire, 25 and 30-year guys at that point. So they were great to me. Showed me everything they could, is everything that I could learn anyway at that age.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was a good little gig area out there. All sorts went on. It's and then somewhere around the 2000, it pretty much went away and got taken over by Encore, and then it all changed down there.
yeah.
It was a good run for a long time for a bunch of people over there.
It got me my A-list. I went from getting in the business to an A-list card-holding member in 1 year. They took care of me. I mean, they had me working in Christmas parties. I remember those Christmas parties down there. I mean, you'd start December 1st, and you wouldn't have a day off until the day before Christmas.
Yep.
And back then, and everybody argues with me about this, back then, when you got on 7th day, you stayed on 7th day until you got a day off. So I would have 2 weeks of 7th day pay, and it would make 3 months worth of work.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And you never complained about it.
No.
No.
No. You didn't say, how long is this gig? No, you didn't ask those questions. You didn't say, how long are we going to be here today?
It was a different time then. You went in there knowing that you were there for a 2-hour, 4-hour minimum, whatever it was going to be, or until they said it, you go home.
Exactly.
And that could be a week later. It could be a month later. They say, go on home. We're done.
Yep.
Today, I talked to the guys over at PSS, Production Support, and they go, some of these people are coming in today. They walk in there and they go, well, how long is the gig going to be? And they go, I don't know, it'll probably be 8 to 12 hours. No, I'm only staying 8 hours.
Yeah. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I'm like, and what do you guys do? They go, well, after 8 hours, we send them home. We never call them back. And I went, yeah, I get that. That's basically walking off the job because you're supposed to stay there until the job's done. I mean, that's contractually, that's everything. It's like.
And when you walk on the job site, before the job even starts, you can't tell how long it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, an hour in, when you see your progress, you can tell how long. Okay, you can get a good guesstimate. But when you walk in, you don't know how your crew's going to work. You don't know how anything's going to flow.
Yeah.
So you don't know how long it's going to take. So.
Well, when we finished taking the Starlight Express out to put Barry Manilow, because he was our resident. They had just assigned him as our first resident. This is in 2003, 4.
Okay.
The guys, I told everybody, I collected all the guys I wanted to work, and I said, here's how it's going to be. We're taking this stuff out. We got to put Barry in. We have 3 months to do this. So we're working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for the next 3 months. That's what this is going to be. And everyone's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
Awesome. We're going to make some money.
yeah, we're all making money. I said, but if you get to the point you're tired, you come to me and say, I am wiped. I can't do anymore. And you need a day off or 2 days off. You come and tell me. You take your Tuesday, 1-2 days off, come back, and we start this all over again, and you're going to be right back at it again anyway. It doesn't matter. This is going to be 3 months, guys.
Yeah.
I said, in that last 3 weeks, whoever's on the show run, it's going to go up to 16 plus hours a day.
Yeah.
That's what Barry does. He does long rehearsals. People went, I could do that. Yeah. I was doing 20 plus because I hardly ever left here,
Yeah. Getting a nap here and there where you could.
Yeah, basically just because, I was in charge of the whole thing, the whole transformation. It was mine, and I was in charge, and I said, I'll make it happen. It'll be on time. Don't worry about it. It was on time. Everything landed just like it was, and on budget, the whole 9 yards. It's just.
You're a good boss, and you know how to put a crew together.
Yeah, and I had we had about 60 guys, total between electrician, sound, rigging, you name it. It was a big crew and lots of work. And everyone was very happy.
Oh yeah, the paychecks were great.
Yeah, those 3 months they made basically 6-8 months worth of pay in 3 months. So no one was complaining. And very few people wanted to take me up on the offer. A couple did because they were exhausted. Working. And I'm like, no harm, no foul on that. Just let me know.
Yeah, and when you're working like that, it's easy to get a cold. It's easy to get sick.
Yes.
And once that happens, you need to take a day off. You need to rest.
You need a good day or two off.
Load up with vitamin C and zinc and all that, and
Go to
try
bed.
push it out of you.
Go to bed, and when you're feeling a little bit better, come on back. But know you're coming back. We're 12-hour days.
Exactly. Jump right back into it.
It was 7 a.m. for a lot of the crew, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., and then the electricians and stuff came in and the second rigging crew came in at 7 p.m., worked till 8 a.m., so it just never stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, and people wonder how we get on drugs.
Yeah, well.
Hey, to keep going with it, I can't miss work. I got to keep going.
Yep. So I need to take drugs so I can get some more work. So I can take some more drugs so I can take some more.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden they go,
that working until you crash and burn.
Yeah.
And it always happens. It always happens.
Yeah, I tried keeping people that were doing that type of stuff away from me. They're dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just you can't afford that. No, it's good times. Those are the times I really loved. I love doing shows. You probably love doing shows too, but mine is I love those big projects, those big installs and such. It's just a blast.
And that was always my forte. We always had a group of guys where the guys that would start the gig that were excited when we started the gig and come on, we can do this. And about halfway through the gig, when everybody starts going, man, when's this going to end? I'm the guy that comes in and says, all right, guys, come on, we can do this. Cracking jokes, being funny, bringing donuts in one morning because, whatever. That's me. I'm when when it starts to get tough and everybody's tired, Mikey's over there making some stupid joke.
Yeah.
Or doing something stupid or making someone laugh to try to keep it light and keep everybody going.
Do you think that it's because we were born in the business and we understood, a lot of these guys, they weren't born into it like we were.
Yeah.
So they didn't understand the whole, the show must go on. It's not a should go on, it must go on.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no not making it. There was no, I don't know how, yeah. It was just, I guess it was just a mindset that my dad had when he was in the business.
Yeah.
We
passed
really
down to you.
Passed down. We never talked about work. We never talked about how he, did his business when he left at night to go do shows.
Yeah.
I just was around it. And I guess it was just a natural thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how bad you feel, the show must go on.
Yeah, no,
you got to be there.
Yeah. Yep.
I understand that 100%. My family, they would look at you like, what do you mean you took a sick day off?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was passed out because I was so sick. Well, you couldn't just crawl in there and do your gig?
Exactly. This is not going to last forever. This job isn't going to be here forever. That was the one I would get.
Yeah.
These jobs are going to go away. You need to work them when you can.
Yep. You're going to have plenty of work, but this job may only be, it's show business. Here's a secret to show business, everybody. Every show closes. Some of them last one night. Some never even officially open up. Some of them will last 20 years, 30 years. You never know. But every show closes. I've been on shows where I've been told that night was going to be the last night. Told people, and the show's only been running for like a month or two, and they start crying. I'm like, what are you crying for? Guys are crying. Oh, well, I was hoping to work there. I said, hey, grow a pair. Knock it off. Jeez. Every show closes, babe. Let's go.
Exactly. And this is just an opportunity to find another gig. You know what I'm saying? To expand your knowledge, to go take a class, and get into a different part of the business if you need to.
I was fortunate. I was one of those fortunate people that built, Hollywood Jubilee. That's what we were building there at MGM Scenery Shop when I got out of high school. So I had that experience. And then I went and I worked at the Mint in the lounge for 3 years. And then from there, I went right over to the Riviera and did like 6 years there. And then came here for 30. So I did bounce here and there, but, I didn't get a lot of bouncing because basically I got offered because I put the time in. I put the time in, and I got the skill set up high enough to where people were like, "Oh, let's keep this guy."
Yeah, true, true.
And if you got that skill set, you're going to be kept. Good employers will find a way to keep you.
True.
Because it's like, we don't want to lose this guy.
True.
And I used to do that here when we had Starlight Express. I'd bring guys in that were like really good builders and stuff like that, and I'd find some way of using them. I had 2 guys or 3 guys more than I ever needed for the show, and I'd just rotate people and do training here, and constantly just figuring out ways to keep these guys. Just because once you have them, you don't want to lose them.
Yeah, I remember down in the convention area when I was working with those guys down there, Las Vegas Hilton Productions. 72 hours. You call John Stevens and say, "Hey, John, my 72 hours are up. I need a 4-hour call." He'd put you on a 4-hour call to mop something or wipe off steel or do something because they didn't want to lose their core people.
Yep.
And I was lucky enough to be one of those people back in the day.
And at that time, were you on the B list at that time, or were you on the A list yet?
No, back then I was C list.
Okay, so they had to give you something every 72 hours, or you'd have to be back in the system. They may not ever get you back.
Exactly. So once you bounced in there the first time, if they would tell you, "Hey, make sure you don't fall through the cracks, give us a call every 72 hours," that meant they liked you and they wanted to keep you around.
Yeah. And keep you going until something big came along, then you could stick around, make some serious dough. And,
Christmas parties was always what we were looking forward to every year, because once those Christmas parties started, man, you could figure it was 20 or 25 days of just grind,
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we never complained about that. And I never really complained that we had to work and do all those hours and stuff like that. To me, I thought it was it jazzed me up. I just thought it was cool to work all that much. And, it wasn't even about the money. The money was great, but it was like, man, we're doing something pretty cool here. We're transforming all of this into a brand new show. And, and I was playing general. I was Patton, on the battlefield, orchestrating the whole damn thing and making it happen. And that was, to me, that's what I like doing. I really like doing the big installs and stuff. And yeah. So let's get into some more. Let me check the time real quick. We're probably coming up on we got about 5 more minutes. So in 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
On this episode. You were out at Hilton Productions.
Yes.
Where'd you go from there? Because eventually they got rid of it, like we'd said a little while ago. They eventually got rid of it, and Encore took over all the convention centers in town.
Yes. I went from, once I got my A list, that was about 96. 96. I was A list, had my hours in, all that. Just happened, my dad was retiring. 1996, he was going to retire. He was working in Hotel Sound. So I was down in the convention area. The guys called me, says, "Hey, your dad's retiring. We want to drag you up here to Benihana, see how you work out. We'll see if we can find a spot for you." And sure enough, they did. My dad retired, and I was in Benihana or Tech Services for 7 years, from 95 until 2001. And then they did a staff reduction and got rid of a couple of us up there in Hotel Sound. And then after that, Bonnie Diamond gave me a call over at the Paris, and I ended up going over there and starting over there with her in
nice.
96, I think.
So you were working over there with like Ed Cushman, I mean,
In
tech
hotels.
services,
Yep.
and Dick
Don
Long,
Fouché.
Don Fouché.
Don Fouché, Ed Cushman, Dick Long. My dad was up there at that point. Scott, I can't remember Scott's last name. I'll think of it here.
Yeah, I can't think of it either.
Yeah. But then we were also doing nightclub maintenance. So we were with Mark Harmon over there, Eric DeRichards, Charma Rogers, Weinstein, I guess is her last name now, Charma Weinstein. And Gail Brumbaugh was doing wardrobe over there
She
as
still
well.
works here.
Really?
Yeah. She's retired, but she gets to pick and choose what she wants to do as far as working here. And so she works Manilow, and she'll work another show here and there. And
That's so cool. Gail is such a sweet
she's
lady.
awesome.
She used to every now and again when my daughter, I was single dad, so she knew I had a little daughter. She would make me these little sequined purses for her, and she'd bring a sequined purse in for me every now and again. Here, give this to your daughter.
Yeah, she's always good about stuff like that. And I worked with Gail at Splash for six years, and then she came over for Starlight, and then about a year later I came over.
Gotcha. Oh, so you came over here during Starlight?
Yeah, I was here for. I started here in July 31st, '94.
Gotcha.
I was hired as head carp on this, and and stayed 30 more years.
Wow.
I figured, this place would be good for about 10 years. Then I did 10. I go, that wasn't too tough, man. I'll do another few more years.
Yeah.
And at 30 years, I was like, I think I've done enough.
I'm finished.
And I retired on July 31st of 2024. So I did exactly 30 years,
That's very cool.
to the day.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, it was best gig in the world. I can't believe they paid me to do this kind of
Yeah.
stuff at it. Yeah.
I loved it in this hotel. No one ever messed with you. They let you do your job. You know what I mean? We were always quick to help each other too. Make a quick phone call. Hey, Craig, I need a hand. All right, where are you?
And that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd call guys from the convention area. Hey, I need a hand in same thing with tax services or whatever. If that's what you did, you just called the guys. There's been times I've even called hotel engineers here, and call the head chief engineer and say, hey, we got this big thing to lift. Can you supply a couple of your laborers and a couple of guys? And next thing I know, it's like the vice president of hotel operations and chief engineer, and all these guys show up, and it's like, okay, just one big lift, guys. We got, but that's what you're supposed to do. We're all supposed to work together. We're working for the hotel. But anyways, Mike, let's end this episode. We'll come back and do another one and have a nice little chat about what we did after you left here.
Sounds good.
You're listening to It's Showtime, the Craig L. Hayes Show.